I wasn't, not so much that I wasn't good enough for her, but that I couldn't make her happy. What did I have? I ain't have shit. I don't have shit. You know, when we were dating, I didn't have anything. Since that ended, I have a college degree. I'm working towards a second one. Sure, it's a community college. It's what I can afford. On Loveline, we used to have this stuff where people would say they go to college, and that ass Adam Carolla would say, a junior college? Sure. It's a community college. So, it's a college degree. I'm the first college graduate in the family. It's important to me. It works. And for me, it changed the game. It cannot be underestimated how much it changed my game, because before I got up the balls to go to college, I was a big lump of fucking self-pity. Why did I have to drop out of school? Why didn't I go to Grand Valley State with my best friends? Why, bullshit. That's all over. Sure, it's not Grand Valley State. Sure, it's not my dream of once going to Northwestern. But that was, see, some dreams you have to look at for what they once were. I once had dreams of being a rich capitalist. And now, I can't do that. You see, I no longer value money to the extent that I used to. Sure, living expenses, yes, that's fine. But let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I just told you I used to be an athlete. I had dreams of playing for the Cubs. Was a huge Cubs fan. Had a tryout with the Cubs. Well, they had a tryout at Triton College when I was 19. And I thought, I'll go to Triton College. I'll dazzle them with footwork. And maybe I'll be lucky and I'll go down to I'll start at single A. I was good. They weren't looking for good. They weren't looking. And by the way, completely out of practice, I ran a 5-second 40. Doesn't sound like much to remember that I hadn't run a 40-yard dash in a good long time, and I'm an asthmatic. So, a 5-second 40. In flats. But this is where things take a turn. You see, when I went to this tryout, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was a beautiful summer day. When it was almost time for us to hit, all of a sudden, like a horrible movie, it started pouring rain. It was almost biblical. And as only a 19-year-old kid could do, I was angry because I was like, that would have been, I had felt for a long time like I got robbed. Because if you ask anybody to watch me play a game, I was a wizard with the bat. I could do anything. I could hit for power, I could hit for average, I could give myself up to get in runs. I didn't ground in very many double plays. at a line drive swing. I was Michael Young before Michael Young was famous. But sometimes things happen for reasons. Like, what if I had made it? And it's something that's always stayed with me. Was I good enough to make it? I'll never know. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. No. Let me put that a different way. To me, it's not a sport. To me, it's a part of my life. I couldn't tell you who half these idiot reality stars are, but I can describe down to the pitch what happened in a game from 1997 between the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago White Sox. And this one, the Cleveland Indians had Travis fucking Fryman. That sport is my life. But I'm not bitter anymore. I'm not even upset. You see, I sometimes wonder how I would have handled the sexuality thing. Because at the age of 19, let's just say I was not pretending to be heterosexual. I've not pretended to be heterosexual since I was 16. But here's the funny part. I used to believe in this whole hyper-masculinity garbage. You know, for years and years, hyper-masculinity. Be hyper-masculine. Be stoic. Be tough. Be Clint Eastwood growling. Man's got to know his limitations from Magnum Force. You know, not Magnum Force, I'm sorry. What was that? Shit. Not important. Anyway. Was it Magnum Force? Who gives a fuck? Anyway. It took me a long time to accept that masculinity ain't gotta be overdone, you know? And it has led to one of my favorite assertions. See, a long time ago, I lost my virginity to a guy that really did it all wrong. That's a story I'm going to tell sometime in the very near future. And I'm going to explain in that story why I have certain reservations about certain things. But I once read an article that said that some guys don't get fucked simply because it, in their mind, and only in their mind, diminishes their masculinity. You know, only women and queers get fucked. First of all, that's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life. But you gotta remember, I was still buying the company line at this time. I'm still buying all the bullshit they're teaching me, not realizing that I should be walking my own fucking path. And that leads me all the way back in circular logic to the body image thing. You see, all these guys that used to preach this shit to you, all of them are these big, huge, 6'3", 300-pound bear guys. I'm not 6'3". I ain't 300 pounds. And frankly, I've decided that entire thing is ridiculous. Hyper-masculinity. It's a scam. And it's a scam designed to fuck you over, my male friends who watch this video. You see, you ain't gotta like, the myth is that you gotta love sports. You gotta talk like, Steven Seagal, if, when he talks and makes sense. And it's ridiculous. You shouldn't do that. I'm not gonna do it. Hell, half the time my voice is a cross between, what's a good example? Half the time my voice is like a cross between, let's say, Chris Benoit, I know you're saying who, and some guy who's been pumped up by helium. But that's not intentional. Some guys have to force themselves to talk like that because it's what they think they should be doing. What do you think you should be doing? Do you think that, for 1 second, that anyone that's going to tell you that you should talk like this has your best interest at heart? No. Most of the time, it's a joke to them. It's a joke to me. See, this is why I get angry with people who insist that, and I said this in the last video, it's why I get angry with people who insist that everybody should sound the same in the gay community. It's why I get angry with them. We don't get anywhere if everyone's the same. If everyone is the same, we have done ourselves a disservice. We have done the job poorly. We have sucked at what we're supposed to do. And that is unforgivable. I don't want to be like straight people. You're my friends. You're not my bosses. I don't want to be like everyone else. I am who I am. And I am not gay. Had you going, didn't I? Let me try this thing. Okay, let me put it like this. I'm attracted to women, trans and otherwise. I'm attracted to men. There's nothing feminine about that at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're my audience. If I lie to you, I'm doing something wrong. You see, I think I should end this soon because my back is beginning to hurt again. Ugh. So, I gotta ask people the questions that gotta be asked. Why should we all be the same? Why should we all fucking look like, fuck. I can't even think of people who we consider perfect. Alright, facially. Why should we all look like fucking Megan Fox and Tom Cruise? Why should we all be fucking built like Ryan Reynolds and or non-surgery Pamela Anderson? Why the hell should we do that? What fun is looking like other people? Why would we do that? I'm a bald, bearded, by cracky, clown. But I can admit that. I will never compete with the people I just named. And I'm not going to either. Because they are unrealistic. They are phony. Well, it was the surgery I had. Never mind. No. Surgery. Well, I did have a penis enlargement. Not. So, But what I'm saying is that when it comes to body image, right? We should and this is gonna sound as cliche gets. We should love ourselves because it's all we got. You have $10,000 for plastic surgery? No. If you do have $10,000 for plastic surgery, use it on something else. Unless you look like that one. Unless you look like the ugly fish that you pulled in Garfield, then you get a pass. I'm kidding. What? As I get ready to close this video, because I've been talking for 60 minutes, it gets to me when people who have actual beauty are emotionally harming themselves because they think that there's something like perfection. Looks fade. And they're supposed to. It's called natural aging. Look at Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood hasn't fucking changed the features since goddamn Unforgiven. He looks exactly the fucking same. He's 82 years old. How do you think that happened? Genetics? Yeah. So, look. Sorry, I had to stretch my back out. All I'm saying is this, as I close it. RuPaul says it best. And I really hate to play quote RuPaul. How the hell you gonna love somebody else if you don't love yourself? It took me a long time to learn to love myself. Nerdishness and all. But I'm just getting started. And I don't mean like that. So, that's the end for the night, people. I'm trying to decide because I am not going to bombard you with dumbass videos, and I'm not going to talk about stuff that I don't believe in. But I do have a subject matter that I would like to broach in my next video, and it will be of a sexual nature. So, I humbly advise you to be listening and watching the next video because the lighting was bad in this one, and I've got to figure out how to work this fucking camera, because if I don't, they're going to look like this, and I'm going to look like I'm being burned alive inside of an incinerator. I look like a lobster. Thanks. Take care.